Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either. I think it's. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag on
here. Unless you have a membership
number
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Everyone in the background is saying, is he dead? Nolan, wake the up.
Claiming they're sinking and calling for help. And yet, in the background, are we really hearing all of this other activity?
Nobody has ever, none of the kids on this boat have ever admitted that anybody said that they thought Nolan was dead.
A man in Sacramento just got the first pair of handcuffs in the Nolan Wells case, and he was never on that boat. Let that sit for a second. The first arrest in the biggest case in Mississippi right now did not happen in Mississippi. It happened almost 2,000 miles away, in California, in a state Nolan Wells never even visited. The man they took in was not a friend of Nolan. He was not on Horn Island that night. He was not on the boat. He was not in any picture with anyone in that group. He was a stranger, a total stranger. And on August 1st, federal agents put him in cuffs. His name is Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumarce. He is 27 years old. He lives in Sacramento. And the reason he is now sitting in a federal jail cell has nothing to do with the water, nothing to do with the boat, nothing to do with the trip. He is in that cell because of a message he sent from his own phone, a message he typed with his own fingers, a message the FBI traced back to him in a matter of days. The message was a bomb threat, and he did not send it to a random person. He sent it to a judge. He sent it to Ashley Cole, the mother of Warren Hudson, the best friend of Nolan Wells. Now stop and feel that for a moment. Feel how strange that is. The first person the government charges in this case is a man from another state, sending a threat to the mother of the best friend. Not the best friend, the mother. And she is not just any mother, she is a Chancery Court judge. She wears a robe, she swears people in, she reads court files for a living, and someone in Sacramento decided she was the one who deserved a bomb threat over the death of a boy she never harmed. This is the shape justice is taking right now. Sideways, backwards, sad in a way that is hard to put into words. Christine Wonsley is Nolan's mother. She has been on her knees for a month. She has begged for answers. She has begged for a phone call. She has begged for one honest witness to walk into a police station and say what happened on that boat. And instead of that call, instead of that witness, what she gets is a news alert on August 1st that the first person in cuffs is a man in California who never met her son. Nothing about that is fair. Nothing about that gives her peace. Nothing about that fills the empty chair at her kitchen table. Here is what we know about how it happened. Federal agents got a tip about a Facebook Messenger message sent to Judge Cole. The message threatened a bomb. It threatened her life. It threatened her court. When a threat like that crosses state lines, and this one did because it went from California to Mississippi, the FBI takes it. Not the local police, the FBI. And the FBI does not move slow when a sitting judge is the target. They pulled the account, they pulled the login, they pulled the IP address, they pulled the phone, they walked the trail right up to Dumarce's front door, and then they knocked. The charge is interstate transmission of a threatening communication. In plain language, it means you sent a threat from one state to another. That charge carries real time. Federal time, not county jail time, real prison time in a real federal facility. And this is the part that hits hardest. The first person to face real time in the Nolan Wells case is a person who had nothing to do with Nolan's death. He is not a suspect. He was never a suspect. He is a man on the internet who got angry or got twisted or got obsessed. And he picked up a keyboard and pointed it at a judge. For the family of Nolan Wells, this is a strange kind of pain. It is not the kind of arrest they were waiting for. It is not the news they wanted to wake up to. They were hoping to hear a name from the boat. They were hoping to hear a name from the friend group. They were hoping to hear that the DA had made a move. Instead, they heard a name they had never heard before, from a city they have no connection to, from a case that started with a message on a phone. There is a piece of this that no one is saying out loud, so I will say it. The reason the first arrest looks like this is because the digital footprint on the boat is still locked up in servers. The reason the first arrest looks like this is because the friend group is still holding the line. The reason the first arrest looks like this is because the sealed autopsy is still sitting in a district attorney's office. The reason the first arrest looks like this is because the pieces that would put cuffs on someone who actually knew Nolan are pieces the government is still holding in its hand. They are not ready to play them yet, so they played the piece they had, and the piece they had was a stranger with a phone. I want you to think about what that means about the world we live in. A boy dies in the water. His mother begs for answers. A judge whose son was on the boat gets threats. A stranger in another state pays for those threats with his freedom. And the men and women who were actually standing near Nolan when he last drew breath, they are at home. They are unbothered. They are not in cuffs. They are, as of this moment on August 3rd, 2026, still free. That is not a conspiracy theory. That is a fact. Look it up. There has not been a single arrest of anyone from that boat. Not one. Not the best friend, not the second friend, not the third friend. Not one person from the group that took Nolan out on the water. Not one person from the group that came back without him. The only person in a federal jail cell tonight because of the Nolan Wells case is a man from Sacramento who never met him. Now let me tell you why this matters more than people think. When the FBI files a charge like this, they open a case file. That case file lives forever. That case file gets served on Meta. Meta hands over every message. Meta hands over every login. Meta hands over every device that touched that account. And every one of those pieces of evidence sits in a folder that gets stamped with a case number. That case number is now permanent. That case number is now attached to the words Nolan Wells forever. That is a paper trail. That is a chain. That is the kind of thing that does not go away when the news cycle moves on. 6 months from now, when the family is trying to keep pressure alive, that federal case number will still be sitting in a filing cabinet at a courthouse. And every reporter who wants to dig can walk in and pull it. The government did not mean to give the family that gift, but they gave it. There is also this: when you charge a man with sending a bomb threat, you have to prove he sent it. That means his phone gets pulled. That means his cloud gets pulled. That means his search history gets pulled. And when a jury sees a young man's search history, they see everything. They see what he was reading. They see what he was watching. They see who was telling him to do it. If Dumarce did not think of this himself, if someone was pushing him, if he was part of a group that was targeting the judge, the FBI will find it. Not may find it, will find it. That is how these cases work. So the story is not really about Dumarce. The story is about the door his arrest just opened. Now I want to bring us back to the kitchen table, because underneath all this law, underneath all this federal machinery, there is a mother, Christine Wonsley, sitting somewhere in Mississippi, watching her phone for a name that never comes, getting news alerts for a name that means nothing to her. She did not raise a son so that his death could become a viral crime story. She raised a son, period. And now she has to watch strangers use his name for their own reasons. Some of those strangers want justice. Some want attention. Some want money. Some apparently want to threaten a judge. I do not know how a mother carries that. I do not think any of us do until we have to. There is a father in this story too. Warren Hudson's father, Dr. Benjamin Hudson. He is a physician. His son was on the boat. His wife is the judge who got the bomb threat. And now his family is at the center of a federal investigation that has nothing to do with anything they did. But that has everything to do with the choices their son and his friends made on July 4th. Nobody signs up for that kind of month. But this is where the two families sit differently. Christine Wonsley has been public. She has been loud. She has been on television. She has been on Instagram. She has been begging in every direction. The Hudson family has been quieter, more lawyered up, more careful. That difference is not an accident. That difference tells you where the pressure is really pointing. Here is where I need you to slow down with me, because most people will read the Dumarce arrest and think, oh, that is a side story. That is not the main thing. That is just some internet guy who lost his mind. That is exactly wrong. This is not a side story. This is the government showing us what they are willing to move fast on and what they are not. They move fast on a bomb threat. They have moved slow on a body in the water. They moved fast when a judge was the target. They have moved slow when a mother has been the one calling. Do you see what that says about the country we live in? Do you feel what that says about who gets protected and who has to fight? I am not saying the FBI is wrong to protect Judge Cole. She is a judge. She deserves protection. Anyone who threatens a judge should go to prison. That is right. That is fair. That is how it should work. What I am saying is this: if the government can move that fast to protect one black family in this case, then the government can move that fast to answer another black family in this case. If the answer for Ashley Cole is action in 7 days, then the answer for Christine Wonsley cannot be silence in 30. That is not equal. That is not justice. That is a scale that only tips one direction. I want you to stay with me here because the next 48 hours are going to matter. The Dumarce arrest just gave the family lawyers something they did not have before. It gave them a live federal case tied to the Nolan Wells name. That case has discovery. That discovery is going to include Facebook Messenger records. Those records are going to touch other accounts. Those accounts are going to touch other conversations. And some of those conversations are going to lead right back to the group of people who were on the boat. You do not need a law degree to see that. You just need a little patience. Christine Wonsley has been patient for a month. She has cried in public. She has cried in private. She has done every interview anyone asked her to do. She has held Nolan's picture on television. She has stood outside courthouses. She has not slept. She has not eaten right. She has aged in a month what most people age in a decade. And she is still standing. She is still asking. She is still refusing to let her son become a number. Do you know what that kind of mother does when she gets even one small piece of movement? She uses it. She takes that piece and she pushes on it until the whole wall cracks. The Dumarce arrest is a piece. She is going to push on it. I want you to remember something as this case moves forward. The people who did wrong in this case, whoever they are, wherever they are, however many of them there are counting on you to lose interest. They are counting on the news cycle to move on. They are counting on Christmas to come. They are counting on another story to knock this one off the front page. They are counting on America to have a short memory. They always are. Do not give them that. Not this time. Watch the next news cycle. Watch the next arrest. Watch the next name, because the first arrest was a stranger from Sacramento. The next arrest, if the family lawyers get their way, if the subpoenas hit like they are supposed to hit, if the sealed autopsy says what people are saying it says, the next arrest is going to be a name you already know. That is the promise sitting in this case right now. If the first arrest was a keyboard, the next arrest might be a hand. And a mother in Mississippi has waited long enough to hear which one it is.